And then I was at a meeting in Dallas, I think it was. Oh no, it was up in Monterey, and it was with General Paxton, and then with some of my staff, and one of my staff members sitting next to me, she all of a sudden just brushed her hand against my computer case, that's my computer case.
Okay.
And she screamed. And we all went, "What? What happened?" And she goes, "Look." And there was a needle sticking out of the computer case, which is impossible. And it was going a half inch into her thumb. It had gone through the end. And of course, I'm thinking, oh, that's awful, but maybe you just saved my life. Maybe it's got some sort of weird poison on it, or it's like a Putin thing, and it's got,
Right.
radioactive substances or something. I'm trying to joke around, but meanwhile, she was terrified. How did a pin get, and by the way, I have a picture of the pin. It's really creepy. I've never.
So when you're saying a needle, you're not saying like a syringe. You're saying a needle like a sewing needle.
No, that's what I'm saying. None of us has ever seen a needle like this needle. It's about 2 inches long. The end is like it's been sharpened.
Okay.
You can see it sharpened, and at the end where there should be a hole for thread, there's no hole.
Okay.
So I don't know what it is. But we've had worse incidents too. I'm just saying this happened to be the latest.
But that's in your computer bag? Was your computer bag ever out of your care?
Well, not that I noticed, but
I mean, if somebody wanted to harm you, a little needle, it's not really.
oh, I don't think that's someone wanting to harm me.
What do you think that is?
Well, if it's anything, it's someone wanting to scare me. And the fact is, I have been scared, and so have a lot of my staff. This summer, we've had 26 interns. They come from all over the country. 23 of these people were volunteers. And fantastic young people, extremely smart, helping me run almost 40 research projects.
Mm-hmm.
And there is, we take precautions, and there is some fear. And one of these young men who's done superb work, he asked that we take his name off of everything. He didn't quit, but he's just saying
Right.
because
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, because there have been a number of incidents, and if I were, did you ever hear of John Katzimatidis?
No.
Okay, he owns a ton of supermarkets in New York. He also owns WABC New York. But I was at a luncheon with him. I shouldn't do this on the air. I shouldn't do this. But he actually said, to make a long story short, that if he were Google, he would kill me. He said it straight out.
But yet you're still alive.
Well, I'm alive, but I'm in rough shape because, what a push comes to shove here, I have been making discoveries that are really startling, and they've gotten worse and worse and worse. And since I was last with you, which was 2.5 years ago, we've made probably 5 or 6, 7 more discoveries. They get worse each time. And we've done something that I was speculating about doing when I was here, which was building a nationwide monitoring system to surveil them the way they surveil us and see what content they're actually sending to real voters and to real kids.
So let's break this down, because I think we're getting a little in the weeds here. Let's explain to people that don't know what you're talking about what your research is about, because most people are not aware. And one of the major issues that you have discovered is the curation and the purposeful curation of information through search engines. So most people that are unaware think that when you do a Google search on something, say if you want to find out about a Kamala Harris rally or a Trump rally, that you are just going to get the most pertinent information in the order in which it's most applicable to your search. But that's not the case. The case is everything is curated, and if you want to find positive things about someone who they deem to be negative to whatever ideology they're promoting, it will be very difficult to find that information. If you want to find positive things about someone they support, they will be right up front. If you want to find negative things about someone they support, they will be very difficult to find, and you will be inundated with positive things. And what you have found is that this curation of information from searches has a profound effect, especially on the casual voter, on the low information voter, a profound effect on who gets elected, and it's tantamount to election interference. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say that's where I was 2.5 years ago. We have gone so far beyond that because it's not just search results, it's search suggestions, which we're capturing now by the millions. So it was in the news recently that when people were typing in Trump assassination,
right,
they were getting crazy stuff like the Lincoln assassination. They were getting crazy stuff, and they were not getting information about the Trump attempted assassination. And, I looked at that and I said, oh, isn't that nice? So there's an anecdote about how they may be abusing search suggestions. We don't have anecdotal data anymore. We have hardcore, large-scale scientific data on all of these issues. We know what's actually going on, and we've quantified the impact. See, it's one thing to say, oh, look what they're doing. It's quite another to say, what impact does that have on people?
Right. Let's talk about the Trump assassination one in particular. What did you find about that?
Well, frankly, we couldn't care less about that because that's one anecdote. We're collecting these by the millions, and what we know a couple of things. We know that, first of all, they're not, it started out as one thing, and it's turned into something else. And so what they do is they use search suggestions to shift people's thinking about anything. It's not just about candidates either. It's about anything. And we've shown in controlled experiments that by manipulating search suggestions, you can turn a 50-50 split among undecided voters into a 90-10 split, with no one having the slightest idea that they have been manipulated.
Wow. And this always goes a very specific way. It always goes.
It always goes a specific way, but I'm going to show you maybe a little later if I haven't put you to sleep or if my meltdown hasn't gotten too bad, because